Hello everyone, this is Griffin Station back here with another Jump Force video, and in this video, this has been something that I've needed to talk about that's been sort of building up over the last couple of months, but I didn't want to admit to myself, and I feel like a lot of others haven't wanted to admit to themselves either. But as we get to Jump Force's release, it's looking more and more like this is going to be the case. And what I'm going to be talking about is basically what people's expectations were when Jump Force was announced, and then the journey we've gone on since then, and what reason is why we are all, or at least most of us, are disappointed with what we have so far. So back at E3 June 2018, Jump Force was announced, and we were promised this big crossover game, essentially. When I first saw the trailer, I'm like, Naruto, Luffy, Goku, and after we also had Sasuke, Zoro, and Frieza, and then at the very end of the trailer we got Light, and so everyone started speculating, wait, is this a J-Stars 2? Like, is this a follow-up to J-Stars? It's also being made by Spike, and so people started speculating what the roster could be. And so we found out that Light wasn't going to be playable, but some were expecting that, considering Light doesn't actually fight in his series, and they'd have to take some extreme liberties to make him fight, unless if they just had him write down people's names in the notebook. But I digress. People started speculating on the roster size, what characters we could get, if we would get the characters from J-Stars back in Jump Force, etc. So we go about, like, I want to say, just a couple weeks, and then we get Bleach characters. We get 3 of them. We get Ichigo, Rukia, and Aizen, and then people are like, this is happening. We're actually getting the roster from J-Stars, except expanded on, except for maybe One Piece. Then we get a news drought. We're like, okay, but this is early in the marketing. We're going to be getting a lot more characters as the games get closer to release. We also didn't know what the release date was, so I personally was predicting, if we get 5 characters a month, I would hope for a release in Q3 of 2019, so let's say September of 2019, so we could see a lot more characters make it into this game. I saw a lot of people telling me, no, it's going to be released in Q1, probably February or March, and I didn't want to believe that, because I'm like, okay, that gives us a lot less time to announce new characters. But we moved on to August, we got 6 new characters, and this is really the turning point in people's expectations. Once we got these reveals, we got Hisoka and Gon, and that was really amazing. I know a lot of people love Hunter x Hunter. I love Hunter x Hunter. Hisoka is one of my favorite anime characters of all time, so I was super excited. But then we got 3 more One Piece characters with Blackbeard, Sanji, and Sabo. And seeing that One Piece at that point had 5 playable characters made people think either one of 2 things. One, that since One Piece is getting so many characters, not only are Dragon Ball and Naruto going to match that, but the roster size is going to be humongous. Because if this is a 50th anniversary game for Jump, that means that they aren't just going to solely focus on One Piece, or at least push One Piece that heavily. They want to celebrate the whole 50 years, get as many series in there as possible, and if they're able to develop 5 One Piece characters, that means that they already have ample amount of other series in Jump Force that they just haven't announced yet. The other alternative, which is what seems to be happening, is they're focusing on the Super Big series and leaving out a lot of the other franchises that made up Shonen Jump. And that's where a lot of people are getting disappointed. Now, there are a lot of fans of, One Piece, that Bleach, Dragon Ball, Naruto, that want even more characters than what we're getting right now. Of course, Naruto only has 2 characters at this moment, but I assume we're going to be getting more Naruto characters in the coming weeks. But as we moved on with the months, the reveals didn't speed up. In fact, in October they slowed down. In November they slowed down. We went back to 5 reveals in December, but they haven't really sped up. And by the point of Gamescom, everyone was expecting, 60 characters, maybe 70 characters, because it was early in the marketing. It didn't make sense to just evenly pace it. It makes sense to really push the marketing at the end of the game's pre-launch, section. And so people are like, it's fine that they're only doing 5 characters now. What will happen is by the time of November, December, January, we're going to be getting like 10 characters a month, and then after we'll push the game up to, 60 characters, 70 characters, what have you. And after we'll also get DLC. But that didn't happen. October rolled by, we got 4 characters, 5 if you count Kane. We got 4 characters in November. We got 5 characters in December, and so far we only have, 14 series, I'm pretty sure, in Jump Force? That is nowhere near as close to the 32 we had in J-Stars, and of course some of those series in J-Stars were not playable, some of them were support, but it still is sort of surprising to me that the number of series represented in J-Stars is more than double the amount that we have in Jump Force currently. And J-Stars' series representation wasn't as good as Jump Ultimate Stars, which was a game released years before J-Stars and was released on a handheld device. So people right now are just disappointed because there are so many series that I feel need to be represented, but as of how it looks right now, the number of series we're potentially going to be getting is probably going to be 5 to 10 more at the most. But I'm thinking it's closer to the number of 5. And there's so many series in J-Stars and Jump Ultimate Stars, even in the mobile games of Jump 50th anniversary, that still need to be represented, and I just feel aren't going to be. Now, is DLC going to answer this problem? We'll see. We don't know what they're doing with the DLC. We don't know if they're just going to add more characters from series already represented, or if they're going to add more series outside of the series already in Jump Force. Personally, for me right now, I would prefer if the DLC used their character slots to add series that aren't in Jump Force currently, because right now it doesn't necessarily feel like a 50th anniversary of a manga publisher magazine. And right now it just feels like basically a Battle Stadium Dawn with friends. And I think that's the main reason why people are disappointed right now. If we could get more series, I think people would be happier if we got, the main ones that I always see. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, I'm sure, is going to be in the base roster. Cut to Kill Hitman Reborn, I'm sure at least Suna is going to be in the game. But after there's other series that are less likely to be in this game as of this moment, and will never get their own game, such as D. Greyman, Medaka Box, Toriko, the list goes on, and Kinnikuman. I'm not going to list them all, but there's just so many series that right now are in the balance of, are they going to make it, or are they just going to be forgotten about and never brought up in another Jump Anniversary game? Because right now I feel that they should try to include as many series as possible and try to limit the number of representatives to really celebrate Weekly Shonen Jump's 50th anniversary. That would make me, at least, because I'm super excited for this game still, but it would make me less disappointed after the game's launch and after the initial hype of the game, because I want to be able to play as many of these series in, I'm talking about fighting series. I want to be able to play as many of these fighting series characters as possible, because a lot of these don't get games. We get Naruto games basically annually. We get Dragon Ball games basically annually. So, like, we get to play as all of these Dragon Ball characters all the time. We get to play as all these Naruto characters all the time. We even got One Piece Burning Blood a couple years ago. We get to play as those One Piece characters. But we don't get to play as these other characters, these smaller franchise characters. And that's why I feel a lot of people are excited for a game like Jump Force, because they can play as these characters that don't usually get games. But right now it's looking like that they're just focusing on the bigger series, and that's what's leading to this want of a bigger roster size. I feel like people would be happier with a roster size of 40 to 50 characters, which is what it's looking like we're going to be getting right now, if they included a lot of more franchise but less representatives. And there would still be those people that wanted, you know, the extra characters such as Blackbeard or Boa. But if we focus on more series, it would draw more broad of an anime fan base. And I understand in terms of marketing it makes sense to do more One Piece, more Dragon Ball, more Naruto, more Hunter x Hunter, more Bleach characters. But from a fan of Weekly Shonen Jump as a whole, it does leave a sour taste in some people's mouths. That's just how I feel on the situation, and why I think people are starting to be really disappointed with how Jump Force has been developing. If you have any other ideas or any other thoughts on why people are disappointed with Jump Force and how it could have been changed, leave your comment in the comment section down below. I'd love to read what you all have to say. Thank you all so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video or found it informative, please leave a like. It'd be greatly appreciated. If you want to see more of my content, subscribe to the channel and turn on bell notifications so you are alerted whenever I upload. You can also click on the eye icon in the top right hand corner to see some of my recent videos. But other than that, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys in the next video or live stream. Bye!